comes Keith from Zatara, checking out the marina from his one wheel. Looking incredibly cool. Ow, Jesus. All right, here I am with Keith. We've been following the folks from Zatara for quite a while, and lo and behold, they happen to be in the same arena that we're in right now, and we got lucky enough to meet them. Oh yeah, there it is, Marine Liquidators. Oh my gosh, look at all those center console stand thingies. You have arrived. All right, so this place is amazing. They got everything you can imagine. Props. These are all the plastic fuel tanks. They got a equally giant selection of aluminum fuel tanks outside. Biminis, you know, just bimini. More fuel tanks. Just crazy. The folks from All American Diesel told me about this place called Marine Liquidators up near Fort Pierce. It's about a 2-hour drive away, and we didn't know what to expect, so we went ahead and drove up there just to see. And the place is just kind of a used boat part mecca. It's got literally everything. If you need something and you're in South Florida and you're not looking to spend new prices, this place is worth checking out. So I'm really quite curious, is this 55-gallon barrel truly full of screws and whatnot? Look at that. I think it is. I think it goes all the way to the bottom. It's turtles all the way down. I've been wondering how they price things here. Here's a bunch of battery cables, and they just sell it by the pound. It's like buying chicken. So if you need some piano hinges, this is all piano hinges. Slide mechanisms for pedestal seats. That's pretty crazy. All sorts of pedestals. A whole bucket of Dometic, or a whole box of Dometic. Nothing but gauges. Gauges. Wall-to-wall gauges. 3 layers of gauges. If you need rod holders, you might find one here on the row of rod holders. This is a whole pile of mounting arches. All of them in really good condition. Put your Starlink on here, your antennas, your radars, all just sitting here. Gosh, they got stacks and stacks of marine plywood. So we're at the Heathcote Botanical Garden here in Fort Pierce, and they have this James Smith bonsai gallery, which is amazing. And this was one of our stops on the way back from Marine Liquidator back to Dania Beach. This guy has a very interesting hairdo. All these cute little leaves, beautifully done. And he's got a pot that's quite custom. First I thought Bob, I call him Bob because he's a baobab, but at first we thought Bob was not doing well. But when you zoom in, he's got little green buds everywhere. Bob is doing just fine. There are so many bonsai, it's hard to look at them all and they start to just blur together, but each one is truly amazing. A guy named James Smith back in the 1950s started a bonsai thing here in Florida and became quite famous worldwide with bonsai. This is one of the largest collections in the U.S. What happened? Is this where you live? Are you you keep the mice away? This guy's undergoing some intense training. Look at that. Intense training regimen. Dun 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 dun. I'm not used to seeing bamboo in such tidy bunches. What do they call it? Bamboo? I saw it say bamboo somewhere. This isn't bamboo? All right, now we got it. This is bamboo. Yeah, better leaves, better trunk, more separation between the little divider thingies, whatever you call them. Well, we spent a little bit too much time at the liquidators or maybe at KFC. We don't get to go see the lighthouse. I think someone put varnish on this palm tree. What's the plan here, P? So I really like these original switch plates here. They've got such a big surface area to nab, and they've got such a good positive click to them. But a couple of them are screwed up. Like this one here does not have a good click. And then a couple of them are backwards. You know, in general, down means off, up means on, and some of them are backwards. So I'm gonna open up the broken one. I've got a few spares, see if I can fix it, and see if it's easy to flip around so that the up and down is proper. Yeah, this one's definitely lost its nice positive clicking. You can see the lights flickering down here. This is a 24-volt circuit, and it's all screwed up. So we'll turn off the breaker and take this apart and see what we can find. Well, that's nice. You didn't have to take the screws off all the way. You can just undo it a little bit, twist it, and then bammo, there's the wires. So all I have to do is go dig around for my spares for this switch mechanism, and oh gosh, I haven't done the breaker yet, and replace that. Oh, so many projects. This board, I'm gonna mount my little vise on it. Anyway, it's just hanging out until I get to it. I had a vague memory that deep in this box of spares there were switch-related things. Here's one that I believe was dead, but I found this, made in Germany, and these are beautiful clicking. Oh, this is a double. Beautiful clicking mechanism. So let's see if we can find. Yeah, look at this guy. Hear that? Perfect. Found the breaker. My plan was to record myself taking this apart. And
well, it took a while, but I finally figured out
but 30 minutes later, and I still hadn't done anything.
And I learned something new. These are called backstab connections for the wires, and I actually found a video in German on YouTube where I think they were describing how to push these little lever thingies and you could get the wire out. Anyway, I did that, worked just fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so does anyone know what kind of switch this is? When I check for continuity, it's closed, and when I flip it, continuity is closed to these terminals. So this is continuous with this, or this is continuous with this, depending on where it's switched. So this is the old one, and you can see some discoloration there. There had been some arcing, and it's dead now. Here's another one, and this wire is going into what's called a backstab connection. Turns out these little levers right here, if you push them fairly hard, that wire will pull right out. So ever since I was a kid, I could never throw anything away before trying to take it apart. So I've kind of broken some pins here, and I'm hoping I can see how this actual switch mechanism works. Well, it looks like I need two hands. Yes, so this little piece of the rocker thing had broken. So as you rock this back and forth, it would basically toggle on a piece of metal here, and it had broken, so no wonder it wasn't working. So this one, I believe, used to be installed. It still has a very nice feel. I did a continuity test. It seems to be working just fine. So instead of trying to assemble one with this new guy, I'll just go ahead and use this existing one and this plate and everything. So we will put this plate on there. All right. Yeah, so Lily makes this finely sliced strips of radish with vinegar and sugar. Maybe put a few orange slices or something in there. It's just amazing. You fill up this bowl, and I'll show you the final result when she's done. And this is the result. It is absolutely delicious. Put a few slices of apple in there, something to give it some sweetness. So we did a big cooling system service on the main engines. One thing we didn't do was change the coolant filters on the main engines, the 3406s. The John Deere Northern Light generators, they don't have a coolant filter. It's interesting, a lot of the newer engines don't have coolant filters anymore, something about the coolant being so awesome these days. But this still has coolant filters. We didn't change those because there was some rust in there. I wanted to let, that's one reason we changed the coolant, a little rusty in there. We wanted to let as much of that run through the existing filter as possible, see what else we can get out, and then we'll change it again, and that's what I'm doing right now. We'll start on the port side engine. That's the coolant filter right there. Those blue hoses are the in and outs for the coolant filter. There's valves so we can isolate the filter. That's nice. Got my favorite little stool here, and we'll sit down next to our brand new Walker Airceps and work on changing the coolant. Got a little bucket here to catch any dripping coolant. Okay. So I hear you wanted the world's largest strap wrench. Here you go. That's it. Tight, loosen. All right, we'll work on the starboard engine now. This one, I get to sit in the aisle between the two engines, so tons of room. And hopefully this one's a little simpler to take off. We'll go ahead and crank this one up from the engine room. All right, next we'll put some labels on those filters and record them in our spreadsheet. We're going to share some spreadsheets online just to share things like the list of filters on board and maintenance intervals and all that good stuff. All right, we got to get our stickers on here. These engines have quite a few hours on them. They were rebuilt at about 15,000 hours. But still, they got a lot of hours on them overall, the block and whatnot. Another little project, as soon as I get the part, is this is a manual fuel pump for priming after you change the fuel filter, for example. The one on, this is the port side engine. The one on the this is the starboard side engine. The one on the port side actually is stuck, won't go down. So just this piece right here, kind of between here and here, needs to be changed. All right, so here are the two old coolant filters. We're gonna let the engines run for a little while. Check to make sure there's no leaks or anything. There's the port side. We'll check them after dinner.
This is a no-see-em bug. Extremely annoying, causing major
Two kinds
itching.
of jelly on one bread. Da 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 da. Din, 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 din,
Because you only
din,
have
din,
one life.
din, 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 din.
So this is Creamy Cat's favorite spot on the flybridge. Currently it's in the shade when the sun comes up. What are you doing, Creamy? It's not rolling around time. It did not rolling around time. Focus.
That should be closed. Pumpkin came down this morning, and usually Creamy does, to the bed, and Pumpkin was basically trying to warn me that something was wrong. I bet Creamy... What are you doing? What are you doing? You're not supposed to be up here. You're not supposed to be up here without people. Come on. So it's Monday morning. Looks like we're gonna drive back home probably on Wednesday. It's a 2-day drive. We've got some more stuff to bring. That'll be our final kind of haul to the boat. We've also got a haul out coming up, somewhat unexpected. Turns out there's a couple of valves in the raw water manifold that are stuck. And that means we can't completely isolate the way we would like to the things that need raw water, like the main engines, the generator, AC, water maker, fire pump, stuff like that. So we want to get that fixed. So there's a haul out in about 2 weeks. This will give us a good chance to sneak back home and come back in time for that. Anyway, thanks for watching. Creamy says, good morning.